Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, when did I start feeling so tired? Not just tired in your body, but tired in your mind, in your spirit. You wake up and it's like you're already behind. The alarm feels like a warning, not a beginning. You grab your phone, scroll through strangers' lives, pour coffee into exhaustion, and tell yourself, maybe tomorrow I'll get it together. But what if tomorrow never shows up? What if you're stuck in the same loop for months, even years, not because you're broken, but because no one ever told you the truth, that you don't need to fix your whole life to feel better. You just need 1 week, 3 small shifts, 1 decision to try. Let me ask you, what if the version of you with more energy, more clarity, more peace isn't some far-off dream, but just 7 days away? What if you're not as far from change as you think? Because you're not. And I'm going to prove it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share 3 habits so small, they might sound almost ridiculous. No, they won't require discipline like an Olympian or hours of free time you don't have. But if you try them just for 1 week, you'll feel something shift. Not someday. Not next year, by next week. This isn't a challenge, it's a rescue mission from burnout, from autopilot, from the belief that you're stuck, and it starts now. Let's begin. You don't need a complete life overhaul to feel better. That's the biggest lie we've been sold, that in order to change, everything has to change. The truth, real, lasting transformation, often starts with the smallest, most unassuming shifts. It's not about adding more to your already overwhelming to-do list or waking up tomorrow with the discipline of a Navy SEAL. It's about doing just enough to prove to yourself that you're capable of showing up. Not someday, not when life settles down, but right now as you are. That's where the magic of small changes comes in, because when you do something tiny consistently, it creates evidence. Evidence that you can follow through. Evidence that you can trust yourself again, and most importantly, it starts a chain reaction. You drink 1 glass of water in the morning, and suddenly you're more alert. You don't check your phone first thing, and now you're calmer, more focused, more intentional. You move for 5 minutes, just 5, and your brain lights up, your body warms up, and you start feeling like, okay, maybe I can do this. Here's the deal, change isn't a single dramatic moment. It's not a motivational video or a New Year's resolution or even a 30-day challenge. Real change is made of micro decisions stacked over time. And the best way to make a change stick is to make it so small that it's almost impossible to fail. That's why this 1-week challenge is so powerful. It's not asking you to become a whole new person. It's asking you to try 3 tiny shifts for just 7 days. That's it. What happens next is what always happens when you stick to something, even something small. Your confidence starts to grow. Not because your body suddenly looks different or your life magically transforms, but because you kept a promise to yourself. That right there is the foundation of all personal growth. Rebuilding that trust, you begin to believe, if I can do this, maybe I can do a little more. And you're right. That's how it works. That's how you change your life. 5 minutes, 1 glass of water, 10 phone, 3 minutes at a time. We live in a world that glorifies extreme makeovers and dramatic transformations. But the truth is, most people don't need a whole new life, they just need to feel a little better. More energized, more in control, less stressed. That's what these tiny habits offer. Proof that small things done consistently can shift everything. Your body starts to respond, your energy lifts, your days feel less chaotic. And no, you're not suddenly climbing mountains or running marathons, but you are showing up for yourself, and that matters more than you know. So if you've been stuck, overwhelmed, or waiting for the right time to start, stop. This is it. This is your sign. 1 week, 3 small habits. Nothing fancy, nothing extreme. Just the tiniest bit of effort done on purpose every single day. Try it. Prove to yourself what you're capable of. The change you're looking for. It's closer than you think, and it starts smaller than you realize. The way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Think about it. Those first few moments after you wake up are when your brain is the most open, most impressionable. It's like soft clay. And what do most people do with that clay? They shove a phone in front of their face and scroll through other people's lives, problems, and chaos before they've even taken their first full breath of the day. That's not a routine, it's a mental ambush. When you reach for your phone first thing in the morning, you're not just checking messages or the weather. You're giving the world a direct pass into your brain before you even check in with yourself. You're training your mind to be reactive, not intentional. In that split, second habit so small, so automatic creates a ripple effect of distraction, stress, and emotional fatigue before your feet even hit the floor. Now imagine doing the opposite. Imagine waking up and not reaching for your phone for just 10 minutes. 10 minutes of silence or stillness, or even just your own thoughts. It's not about meditating on a mountain. It's not about becoming some ultra-disciplined morning warrior. It's about reclaiming the first 10 minutes of your day and saying, I come first, my mindset matters, my peace matters, and yes, it's going to feel weird at first. Your hand will automatically reach for the device. You'll feel twitchy, like you're missing something. That's not a sign that you need the phone. It's a sign of how deeply wired the habit is. And that's exactly why changing it is so powerful. When you interrupt that automatic scroll and replace it with even a moment of intention, whether it's sitting in silence, drinking a glass of water, stretching, journaling one sentence, or just saying something kind to yourself, you are laying down new wiring in your brain. You're starting your day with you in the driver's seat. The simple habit, just 10 phone-free minutes, builds mental strength. It teaches you discipline without force. It sharpens your focus without requiring any special tools. And perhaps most importantly, it sets you up to respond to the day rather than react to it. There's a huge difference between the two. Reaction is what happens when you let notifications, headlines, or other people's demands decide how you feel. Response is what happens when you decide how you want to show up. This practice also creates space. In that tiny slice of time, you might find clarity, creativity, even gratitude. Things you don't get when you're bombarded with noise, and you might be thinking, it's just 10 minutes, how much of a difference can that really make? More than you think. Because it's not about the clock. It's about the message you're sending yourself, that you're worth that time. That your day doesn't belong to the world until it belongs to you first. And here's what happens when you do this for a week. You'll feel it. You'll start to notice that your mornings are less chaotic. Your thoughts are clearer. You'll feel just a little more in control, a little more grounded. You'll start to crave those quiet minutes. Because it's not the phone you've been needing. It's the space to just be with yourself before the world starts pulling on you. So no, this isn't a radical change. But it is a powerful one. Try it 1 week, 10 minutes, no phone, and see how everything else starts to shift. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Before you drink your coffee, check your email, scroll your phone, or dive headfirst into stress, you need one thing: water. That's it, a full glass of water, no fancy powders, no expensive supplements, just clean, simple water. And if that sounds underwhelming, stick with me, because this tiny act is more powerful than you think. You wake up every morning dehydrated. While you sleep, your body is still working, breathing, regulating temperature, repairing cells, all without a sip of water for 7 or 8 hours. So when you open your eyes, your brain and body are already operating at a deficit. You might feel sluggish, foggy, or even anxious, and your first instinct might be to grab coffee or check your phone for that quick hit of stimulation. But here's the thing: caffeine and cortisol, not a great combo first thing in the morning, and starting your day in fight mode. That's a pattern worth breaking. Now imagine this instead. You wake up, you sit up, and you drink a full glass of water. No distractions, no emails, no rush, just you and that water. You're not just rehydrating, you're sending a clear message to your body and your brain: I take care of myself. This one habit might take you 30 seconds, maybe a minute if you're slow, And yet, the benefits cascade through the rest of your day. Your metabolism gets a kickstart, your digestion wakes up, your joints thank you, your skin improves. Your energy stabilizes, your brain fog starts to lift, and over time, you'll notice something even more powerful. That simple glass of water becomes your first win of the day. Before anything else pulls at you, you've already made one healthy decision. That kind of momentum is real. What's more, this habit anchors you. It's so easy to get caught up in morning chaos, running late, checking notifications, juggling kids, pets, partners, bosses, all of it. But no matter what your morning looks like, you can control this. Walk to the kitchen, fill a glass, and drink it. It doesn't require silence or solitude or even a perfect routine. You just have to do it, and when life feels like too much, that consistency matters. It's something small that grounds you, something you can count on. And let's not forget the mental layer. When you drink water before coffee, before screens, before stress, you're not just hydrating, you're creating a moment of pause. A space between sleep and stimulation. That pause is where you breathe. That pause is where you choose how to show up. Instead of jumping into autopilot, you're saying, hang on, let me put myself first. For 1 week, try this. Just one glass every morning. Even if everything else falls apart, even if your to-do list explodes, even if you're exhausted, drink the water. Do it before you check your phone, before you grab caffeine, before the noise creeps in. Start your day with something pure, something nourishing, something that asks for nothing in return. And here's what will surprise you. It feels good. It feels really good to start your day doing something right for your body. Not because someone told you to, not because it burns calories, but because it's simple, it's doable, and it works. So don't overthink it. Don't wait for motivation. Don't tell yourself it's too small to matter. It matters. Your body is talking to you the second you wake up. And it's saying, please just give me water. Try it 1 week, 1 glass each morning. Let that be your first decision of the day. Let it remind you that change isn't hard. It's just about doing the right thing first. Perfection is a trap. It keeps you stuck. You've told yourself 1,000,000 times, I'll start when I'm ready. Or I'll do it once I can commit fully. But let me ask you, how many times has that worked? Waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect energy level. Spoiler alert. Perfection never shows up. But progress is always available, right now, in small, messy, totally imperfect steps. Here's the truth. Change doesn't require flawless execution. It requires action, that's it. You don't have to do the habit perfectly, you just have to do it. You don't need a 90-minute workout. You need 5 minutes of movement. You don't need to be a hydration expert. You need 1 glass of water. You don't have to become a Zen master. You just need 10 minutes without your phone in the morning. When we set the bar at perfection, we guarantee failure. Why? Because life is unpredictable. Kids get sick. Work blows up. You sleep through your alarm. If perfection is your goal, all it takes is 1 chaotic morning to make you feel like you've blown it. And once you feel like you've failed, you spiral. Well, I messed up today. I may as well give up. That thinking is what keeps you stuck. But when you shift your focus to progress, everything changes. Suddenly, the goal isn't about doing it perfectly. It's about doing it at all. You drink half a glass of water. That's still a win. You moved your body for 3 minutes instead of 5. Win. You remembered to pause before checking your phone, even for a moment. That counts. Why? Because you took action. You showed up. And every time you do, you reinforce the most important belief you can build. I follow through. That belief, that identity shift, is the real transformation. People think the hardest part of changing your life is effort. It's not. It's consistency. It's showing up again and again, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's imperfect. Because consistency builds momentum, and momentum builds confidence, and once you feel confident, everything else gets easier. Progress also does something critical. It builds self-trust. Most people aren't walking around with a motivation problem. They're walking around with a trust problem. They've broken promises to themselves so many times. They've stopped believing they're capable of change. But when you show up consistently, even in small ways, you start to rebuild that trust. You start to believe your own words again. That's powerful. And the best part, progress is contagious. You do one thing right, and suddenly you want to do another. You drink your morning water, and suddenly you're not craving sugar as much. You take a 5-minute walk, and your energy lifts, so you get more done. You don't touch your phone first thing, and you feel calmer, more present, more in control. These wins compound. One by one, they create a new normal. You don't need to overhaul your life. You don't need to be perfect. You need to move. You need to act. You need to do the tiny thing that takes you one step closer if you stumble. Great, get up, keep going. If you miss a day, fine, restart the next day. This isn't about being flawless. It's about building resilience. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable of showing up for you. So stop waiting for everything to line up. Stop needing it to be neat and pretty. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Because small, imperfect progress beats perfect intentions every single time. Try it for 1 week. Don't aim for perfect. Aim for consistent. Aim for honest effort. And watch what happens. Most people go through life feeling stuck not because they don't know what to do, but because they no longer believe their effort will make a difference. That's the real trap. It's not laziness. It's not weakness. It's defeat. You've tried before. You've started the diets, downloaded the apps, written the goals. And somewhere along the line, you didn't follow through, so now, your brain is trained to expect disappointment. That's not a lack of motivation. That's a lack of self-trust. And that's exactly why consistency matters more than anything else. When you follow through on even the smallest promise to yourself, something powerful happens. You begin to believe yourself again. Not in some cheesy, motivational poster kind of way, but in a real, deep psychological shift. You start to rebuild the relationship with yourself. Because every action you take is a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. When you consistently follow through, even in tiny ways, those votes start to pile up. And slowly but surely, your identity starts to change. So no, this isn't about doing it perfectly. This is about doing it consistently. Drinking 1 glass of water every morning might not seem like a big deal. Neither does skipping your phone for 10 minutes or moving your body for 5. But when you do it every day, it adds up. It creates momentum, and that momentum is what drives real change. Most people are looking for a breakthrough, a moment of clarity, a sudden burst of willpower. But breakthroughs don't come from thinking or waiting. They come from action, from movement, from showing up, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. Because those moments, when you choose to act despite the resistance, those are the moments that build resilience. And resilience is the muscle that keeps you going long after the motivation fades. Consistency gives you control. Think about how chaotic life can feel. The world throws a lot at you, unexpected problems, endless noise, people pulling you in every direction. But when you build consistent habits, even small ones, you anchor yourself. You create something solid to hold on to. Something you control. You can't always control your circumstances, but you can control your habits. And that control is empowering. You also begin to realize that consistency isn't about discipline, it's about freedom. When your habits become automatic, you free up mental space. You're no longer negotiating with yourself every morning. Should I get up? Should I exercise? Should I eat better? No, you already decided. You just follow through. That's freedom, that's power, and it starts with consistency. People often underestimate how good it feels to keep a promise to yourself. It's not flashy, it's not dramatic, but it builds something deep. A quiet confidence, a calm certainty, a voice inside you that says, I've got me. And that voice, That's what gets you through the hard days. That's what keeps you grounded when everything else feels like a mess. So stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting to feel ready. Just start. Pick the smallest habit. Do it every day for 1 week. Not because it will change your entire life in 7 days, but because it will prove to you that you can. That you're not broken, that you're not stuck. You're just out of practice, and all it takes is one small act, repeated daily, to shift everything. Try it just 1 week, one action every day. That's how you build self-trust. That's how you build momentum. That's how you change your life from the inside out. You are 1 week away from a better version of yourself. That might sound too simple, maybe even a little naive, but it's the truth. You're not a massive, complicated overhaul away from change. You're a handful of small, deliberate actions away from remembering what it feels like to be proud of yourself, to feel in control, to feel awake in your own life again. The idea that it takes months or years to feel better is what keeps people frozen. That mindset is overwhelming. It makes you believe that change is far off in some distant future, buried under the perfect schedule, the perfect conditions, the perfect version of you. But change doesn't wait for perfection. It responds to consistency. And consistency doesn't need to start with big steps. It starts with 1 week. It starts with you showing up for yourself in ways that are so simple, they're almost impossible to fail. You don't need to become someone else to feel better. You don't need to be stronger, smarter, richer, thinner, or more motivated. You need to act right now. With what you have, who you are as you are, the version of you that's tired, the version that feels like life is a little too heavy. That's the version that gets to start. That's the version that deserves a win. 1 week, that's it. 7 days of showing up for yourself. What she did or maybe didn't do. You try 3 small things: a glass of water in the morning, 5 minutes of movement, 10 minutes without your phone. These aren't life-shattering tasks, but they're life-affirming one. They remind you that you're in the driver's seat, that you get to decide how your day begins, how your body feels, how much presence and power you bring to your own life. And the best part, you'll feel it. Maybe not all at once, but the shift is undeniable. You'll notice your mornings get easier. You'll catch yourself standing taller, thinking clearer, breathing a little deeper. That brain fog you thought was just normal might start to lift. Your energy will feel steadier, your mood more stable. Your inner critic will quiet down, not because you shut it off, but because you finally started listening to a stronger voice. Your own. Momentum is a force, and it builds fast when you focus on the right things. That's why 1 week matters. Because when you prove to yourself that you can follow through for 7 days, it's no longer some abstract idea. It's real, it's embodied, you did it. You made a change, you kept a promise, and if you can do it for a week, you can do it again. Not because it's easy, but because now you know you can. Most people stay stuck because they underestimate what 1 week of consistent effort can do. They think it's not enough, but the truth is, it's more than enough. 1 week is enough to break inertia. Enough to rebuild trust with yourself, enough to shift your state of mind, enough to move from I can't to I just did. So stop telling yourself you need more time. Stop convincing yourself you're too late, too tired, or too far gone. You're not. You're right on time. And you're one small commitment away from feeling like yourself again, or maybe feeling like yourself for the very first time. Try it. 1 week, 3 small habits, done every day, no overthinking, no perfection, just action. Your future self isn't waiting for you to change everything. They're just waiting for you to begin. Start now, start small, start where you are. 7 days from now, you won't just feel better, you'll be better.